you rather, if you had a daughter, would you rather her be in the woods with a man or a bear?
A man.
Why would you not rather her be in the woods with a bear?
Is it
Because
like,
a bear will kill her and eat her. For a fact. That's for a fact.
That's not for a fact.
That is for
Not
a
all
fact.
bears kill and eat. And if you avoid the bear, but like, why is the man in the woods? What is the man doing in the woods?
What is my daughter doing in the woods? What is my daughter doing in the woods?
It's just the whole thing is like, if I'm...
those are the only two options. With a man, there are a million options, and only a few of them are bad. Most of them are like, hey, I'm gonna say hi to you, or I'm gonna ignore you.
That is-
Most of them, and you probably won't even see the guy.
That's absolutely fair, and I agree with that
So
too.
there are
but for
far
the
less negative outcomes with the man than
far
there are
less
the bear.
negative, but far less negative, or are you gonna go for I know for sure more what the bear's gonna
Okay,
do?
yeah, I know for sure that the bear is either going to avoid me or murder me. I'm not willing to take that chance. I'm much more likely to take the chance with the guy because there are more options than ignore me or murder me.
Would you rather be stuck in the woods with a random man or a random bear?
I would say bear.
Why do you say bear?
Like, yeah, you can get mauled by a bear, but like a man can like keep you in captivity and like,
What percentage of men do you think in this scenario would victimize you in some sort of way?
I would say maybe high, just because like even if I'm walking on the street, I'm like getting harassed.
When you say hi, can you like give us a percentage?
I want to say 50, but
In the scenario, you think 50% of men would choose to attack you or do something untoward?
yeah, like a bear, you can approach the situation more calmly and you can
Could
walk
you?
away. I just would rather not be in the forest with a man. I'd rather be alone with a bear.
No. Go away. Hey. Say. No. Ah. Hey. Ha. Ah. Hey. Stop! Enough! Hey! No! No! Hey! Hey! Stop it! Stop! Stop! Enough! No! Hey! Hey! Stop! Stop it! Go away! Go! Enough! Hey! Bad! Bad! Hey! Stop! Enough! Get! Go! Go! Stop it!
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which is to say in the Paleo Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God, Bahashem, which means in the name, Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation, and that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, a so-called black man, who, by the way, only came for the Israelites, all right? Now, what you saw was a video of a compilation of videos put together of women saying that they would rather be in the woods with a bear than a man, and lo and behold, when such a incident occurred, they didn't meet the bear with open arms, okay? As we saw at the last, the woman tried to shoot a bear away. But here it is, you women say that what? You would rather be stuck in the woods with a bear than a man. And lo and behold, when such an incident took place, you didn't meet the bear with open arms like you said you would over a man. Showing you that you women are delusional. okay? You'll say anything without thinking about it. So this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 32, and verse 9. It reads, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech." All right? Now, this is going into the Israelites, but guess what? This can be applied to women in general, because guess what? Y'all under this current rulership are at ease, man. You got the government giving you everything. You got the government, especially you Israelite women, you got the government providing you for WIC. You got the government providing you for HUD. You got the government providing you for jobs and everything, to the point that now you say you would rather be stuck in the woods with a damn bear over a man, okay? And lo and behold, when such an occasion occurred, you wasn't ready to follow up with what your word said. Shoo, bear. Get away from me, bear. Now, had that been a man, you would have just kept walking. Because why? For the majority, for the most part, a man does not pose as much as a threat as a bear does in the woods. A bear, when they come up to you, it's because why? They hungry, or you are in their territory and they want you out. And by all means necessary, they will get you out, even if it costs you your life. All right, see, but you're going to have to answer what you say. That's why it says every word you say, every idle word that you say, you should have to give an account for and an answer for. And you women that said you don't need a man, in that day, you going to realize you need a man. Because your dog ain't going to help you. You see how fucking scared the dog was. Pepper spray ain't going to help you. Ain't nothing going to help you except for if you have a man. That's why it says up at the top, Isaiah 32:1, "Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in judgment. A man," an Israelite man, "shall be as an hiding place from the wind." All right, which is what? Those missiles, okay? You women, you're not getting delivered unless you have a man, and we talking about an Israelite woman will not be delivered unless she is paired up with that man who's an Israelite man and part of the elect, and he may have multiple women, okay? That Israelite woman in America will not be delivered unless she has an elect man to deliver her. It says, "A man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as rivers of water in a dry place, as a shadow of a great rock in a weary land." See? So once this society continues to unfold and collapse and things get worse and worse, you're going to see the significance behind having a man of the Lord. Because that's the only way you're going to be delivered. You're not going to deliver yourself. And the Lord is going to put you in situations just like that, where you're going to have to eat every word you said. All right. So now when we jump down to Isaiah 32:9, it says, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease." And you can apply this to women in general, but this is specifically going into Israel, the women of Israel. All right. Because you're the only ones that are afforded that opportunity of salvation and deliverance, especially here in America. It says, "Hear my voice, you careless daughters." See? It says, "Give ear unto my speech." All right. So you're going to have an opportunity, just like that lady in the last video, to, make good on what you say, or else just eat your words. All right. So this is Amos 5 and verse 18. It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh." See? All you women that are at ease, all you people in general that think you know who the Lord is and you call on Jesus, woe unto you that desire that day when the Lord shall come, because you're going to find out you don't know who you claim to be Jesus is, okay? First of all, that ain't his name. His name in the Paleo Hebrew is Yahushua, and the teachings of the so-called white man Jesus ain't in line with the teachings of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua. So it says, Amos 5 and 18, "Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you?" The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. See? People don't understand what's coming, man. They think when the world, who the world really calls Jesus return, everything is going to be, all fine and dandy. No, that's not how he's returning, man. He's returning in a world that's full of chaos. All right? And he's just going to be the icing on the cake. All right? But when he returns, that's why it says in Luke 12 that what? This is Luke 12. Slakia. This is Luke 12. All right. It says, and what shall I do? This is Luke 12 and 49. It says, I am come to send fire on the earth. So this is Yahushua. It says, and what will I if it be already kindled? See? It's going to be wars going on when Yahushua returns. It's going to be all type of chaos happening when Yahushua returns. And when he shows up, he's just going to finish everything off, man. All right? See, you guys claim to know who you call Jesus ignorantly. You don't know who the Lord and Savior is. Because if you did, you would be getting right with him. All right? But see, you're going to have to eat your words just like you women out there that say you rather have a bear and meet a bear in the woods than a man. The Lord can set that arrangement up just for such an occasion, just like we saw in the last video. All right? So it says, I am come to send fire on earth. And what will I if it be already kindled? See? So there's going to be a lot of stuff going on when Yahushua returns. All right? So now let's go back to Amos 5 and 18. Woe unto you that desire the day of Yahweh. To what end is it for you? The day of Yahweh is darkness and not light. As if a man did flee from a lion. Or in this case, a woman. And a bear met him or her. All right? See, you're going to leave from one close call only to be met with another close call, and then to eventually be what? Destroyed by the thermonuclear fire here in America. It says, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him. Shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light? Exactly, we just read it. St. Luke 12:49. It says, even every dark, it's like it, even very dark, and no brightness in it. See? So you people, you got a understanding of who Yahushua is. All right? Because why? You've been fed that whitewashed Christianity, man. All right? You're going to have to answer for every word you say. This is St. Matthew, chapter 12 and 36. Because the Lord has a funny way of making you eat your words, man. It says, but I say unto you that every idle word that men or women shall speak, they shall give an account therefore in the day of judgment. See? And it says right here in Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28, it says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance. See? The Lord put that spirit on that bear, all right, to come check out the scene. All right? And it just so happened that it wasn't time for that bear to go completely, full, what's the word I'm looking for? Exploratory, and take that bite to see whether or not it's something that bear can use. Because why? That looked to me to be an adolescent bear, not too sure in itself. But look, that had been a full grizzly, a Kodak bear. We've been hearing about that on the news, but that's coming. All right, it's coming as we're going to read. It says, there be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made him. Who was he that made him? Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Isaiah 45 and 7. I created what? Good. I formed light and darkness. I created good and evil. He created all of these. It says fire and hail and famine and death. All these were created for vengeance. But there's more. Teeth of wild beasts. There are them bears. There are them lions. and whatever else the Lord has in store for you, Israelite men, women, and children that don't repent. It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents, as if a man did run into a house and lean his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him, and the sword, the ultimate judgment, was what? The thermonuclear missiles that's coming here to finish off Babylon the Great. And the sword punishing the wicked to destruction. See? So you're going to have to give an answer for every idle word that you say. So it says, but I say unto you that every idle word that man shall speak, they shall give an account thereof in the day of judgment. And those spirits created for vengeance are going to be used to play out judgment on earth when it comes. And we very much well could have seen a judgment right there in live time. Well, not live time, but on, the feed that she put back. That could have very well been her last recording, if it so had been that the Lord wanted that bear to go all the way to what? Finish the job. It says, for by thy words thou shalt be justified, and by thy words thou shalt be condemned. See, and you women, you're going to get that chance to eat your words, man. When you rather come across a bear than a man in the woods, and that's just a metaphor that a woman would rather have a damn bear. Nothing that can come good from being in the woods with a bear that you think ain't gonna come from being in the woods with a man, except for you're gonna be what? More than likely mauled, eaten alive, and go through however much pain, which ain't nowhere near comparable, all right, to what you think. And you say that you want to have a bear over a man, make that make sense. But you're gonna get your wish, all right? You're gonna get your wish. The Lord gonna see to it that He set you up a date, an appointment, and see whether or not you're gonna stand on business. All right. So back to Amos 8, 5, Salakia, and verse 20. Shall not the day of Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and not bright, and no brightness in it? See. So this is what we coming to, man. The day of judgment. All right. Where guess what? You're gonna get your chance to make good on what you said. All right. You women that are at ease, that don't need a man, that rather have an encounter with a bear in the woods and his natural environment, you come into his house, than having an encounter with a man. Because whatever strange reason you believe that you got a better chance at making it out of a wooded area, home to bears, than a man. You're going to get your chance. You're going to get your chance, you women that are at ease, especially you Israelite women, man. All right? That's been bought and sold pretty much to this system, this society under Esau Edom. All right? That you don't need a man. Well, we're going to see in that day. All right? So I think that's going to be it, I just found that kind of funny that you women said it, and then lo and behold, it popped up, and you weren't really what you said you was about. You should have went up there and talked to that. Only thing that could have been funnier is if a man walked by right afterwards, all right, showing you that you women don't have a clue of what's going on. All right, let's go ahead and close out. This is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 5, and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See, you women that are at ease, you're going to come to find out the hard way. You don't know what the hell to expect. Because why? You need guidance. You need direction. You need structure. And that's what a man provides for you. And only a man of the Lord is going to be able to provide you from that protection from that strong wind and ultimately those missiles. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, or in this case, that bear, okay, but as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. See? And if that was an adult male brown bear, he would have been sure of himself. He would have ate you and your dog alive. That's the thing about a bear. They don't go for the jugular or the neck. They'll eat your ass alive, all right? while you screaming and moaning and crying. And that's worse than any goddamn thing a man could do to you. All right? Because you ain't seen the chompers on a bear. You ain't seen his claws. You ain't seen once that spirit created for vengeance jump on him and he just mauls you alive. You better go look at some videos and see how people that survived that looked afterwards. Got to get reconstructive surgery. Then you definitely ain't going to come out the house. All right? So it says, 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right? So that's pretty much it. We're going to wrap it up. With that being said, pray some moments edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. Hey, we're almost home. Shalom. Peace.